Welcome, everyone, to episode 432 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. I'm your host, Dan.
I'm Eric.
Will.
Corey.
Today's topic is going to be the Outer Worlds. So, not to be confused with the Outer Wilds or Outlands or there's a few other games, Outlander. There's a lot of those types of games, but this is the Outer Worlds. And I know at some point I'm going to say Outer Wilds, but I do mean Outer Worlds. And the Outer Wilds even came out earlier this year, and it was also a space game, and it was also pretty good. So there's a lot of confusion there, but it is Outer Worlds. That's going to be our main topic for the episode. Does anyone have anything they want to tease for later on in the episode? Corey, got anything? Anything new?
Nah. I think the only new thing I've been playing is the Outer Wilds.
Okay. Will, anything?
Nada.
Okay.
Extra Life.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about Extra Life. We'll talk about some of the BlizzCon announcements. Eric, do you have anything you want to tease?
No, I just been playing more Call of Duty, but nothing really new to add.
Nice. Eric,
except my strategy.
Oh, I'd like to look forward to hearing about that. Will, did I ask you?
Yeah, I haven't really been able to play much recently other than Outer Worlds.
Okay. I'll talk a little bit about Luigi's Mansion 3. There's a possibility we'll have an episode on it next week, depending on what we decide to do. But I've been playing Luigi's Mansion 3 a fair amount, so I will talk briefly about that during what we played. So, without further ado, we'll get into the Outer Worlds. So, this, of course, is we're all playing it, I believe, via Game Pass. None of us actually bought the game, which is amazing that we can just have it show up. You know, I downloaded it and played it on PC. You guys are playing on Xbox, right?
Mm-hmm.
One thing I did want to mention is there is not cross-save. It's not cross-save between Xbox and the PC versions as of yet. I was a little surprised to hear that because I was actually going to fire it up on Xbox at some point just to test all that stuff out because I like to do that, but it is not cross-save. So that's probably coming at some point in the future, but it's not there right now. So something to keep in mind. So we'll start with Eric, actually. Because I think we talked about it in our Thumbstick Athletes group chat, but not usually a game that Eric really likes, right, Eric?
Well, I don't know if I would say that because I liked Fallout 4.
Right.
And I only played Fallout 3. I didn't really care for that one, but I liked Fallout 4. I would say more it's more dialogue than I would ordinarily like.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you did say you ended up or at least to this point you've liked it more than you thought you would, right? And didn't mind the dialogue as much as usual.
Yeah. And I don't know, it's weird because like my first couple hours with it, I was like, you know, I could see why people really like it, and I kind of liked it, but it wasn't like, I don't know, it wasn't one of those games where I was thinking about it when I wasn't playing it or like itching to go back and play it, but I'm about 7 hours in now, and the more I've played of it, the more I've really liked it, and you know, started to think about it and started to think like, you know, I'm looking forward to playing tonight, which doesn't happen too often anymore these days, so that's kind of been fun. But yeah, I think that the characters are really cool, and I actually have been reading a lot of the dialogue, and I don't know if that's because I've been reading more books as I've gotten older. I don't know. Whatever the case is, but I've found the stories interesting, and some of the quest lines are really interesting, and I really like how like some of the quest lines make you kind of struggle with your own ethics, and morality and that sort of stuff.
Totally agree.
Yeah, so I've really enjoyed that. So it's made me want to read into the dialogue a little bit more, and you know, see what's going on with these characters, and you know, learn a little bit more about their backgrounds before I make any decisions on who I'm going to help or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, overall, I think it's really good. The only gripes I really have are, I don't know why anybody considers putting the encumberment function in a game anymore. Like, who finds that fun?
Yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand that. And the weapon degradation, same thing. I don't get it. Like, I just don't know why it needs to be there.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't really have any complaints. It looks okay on Xbox. It's not like, certainly doesn't blow me away or anything like that. But just like exploring the world, and finally got to leave the first planet and take Unreliable for a spin, and
It's one of
head
my
out
it's
and
one
meet.
of my favorite jokes in the game is
Yeah.
that your ship is called Unreliable.
Yeah. One of the characters made a mention of that too. But yeah, it's so fun, and the characters are so interesting, and I haven't found a lot of games where I got super interested in the different characters.
Yeah.
So I've really been enjoying that part of it.
Okay. Nice, Corey. Let's hear your thoughts. First of all, how far into the game are you?
I'm pretty far. They say it's about a 20-hour game, but I have like 21 hours.
They say it's 20 hours if you blitz through the story.
Okay.
Most of the playthroughs I've read have taken 35 to 40 hours if you do any of the side stuff.
Okay.
So, yeah, if you blitz through the story, you can get it done in about 20 hours.
I've been doing all the side stuff.
Yeah, me too. Always. I always do. That's not anything new. Anyone that's been listening to a while knows I saw a term for it on Instagram and I can't think of it. I'll try to look it up while we're talking about it, but it was like side quest I think it's side quest slut was the term. I was like, wow, that describes me perfectly because I
Next to your other titles, Dan.
Next to your way to say completionist.
Yeah, frame rate queen and side quest slut. Those are my two titles.
Your new hashtag.
Oh, that's a great idea. Anyway, so yeah, how long did you say you played, Corey?
My game says 21 hours.
Oh, that's right. Okay, you just said that. And what are your thoughts so far, Corey?
So when I first played it, I really, really liked it, like a lot. Then I played it a little bit more, and I didn't like it quite as much. But I had a really hard time putting my finger on why. So when I played today before we recorded, I really wanted to focus in on like what it is about this game that I like and what it is about it that I don't like. And something came across. I saw on YouTube I didn't watch the review, but I saw the title described the game as great at being good, which kind of resonated with me. I'll give credit there to G-Man Lives. I wanted to get the name on there because I thought that was a really good way to describe it because the game I compare it most to would be Mass Effect 2. My issue, though, and to that point about it being great at being good, is there's really no high points. It takes you on this very steady, granted, well done, just side quest adventure, I feel like, is kind of how it plays out. And that was my main complaint about Mass Effect 2, is there's this loosely connected thread that ties all these there's a thread that ties all these loosely connected stories together to build characters and build the universe, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's not very many peaks and valleys along the way of the main story. That said, I really do like the setup for the main story. I like the fact that you're a colonist who was stranded on this ship and was frozen in the chamber for 40 years, I think. And Phineas, the mad scientist, comes and saves you. Like I'm really into all that stuff, but that's a small part of what the game actually is. A lot of the game is going to these corporate-run planets and just helping people take care of some bullshit that isn't. I mean, it's the stories themselves, like moment to moment, are really well done and really well written, but it never really culminates in something big and like really fun and exciting.
So there's no Bloody Baron quest.
Right. Yeah. And then I was thinking about The Witcher today, The Witcher 3, and like thinking about how even those side quests are done. They're just so dynamic. And I don't know, like in the Outer Worlds, and it comes off like I'm not enjoying the game. I'm actually really enjoying the game. It's my kind of game. I'm just trying to articulate something that I still can't really put my finger on. It's just there's no big surprises. You know what to expect. Even though the stories themselves are really well written, you're going to go kill somebody, you're going to get something, or you're going to go talk to somebody, and that's basically how you accomplish everything. There's not much like fun experimentation within the game itself.
Ooh, can I piggyback off of that?
Yeah,
actually?
go ahead.
Yeah.
So, what Corey is saying actually is exactly how I feel about the game. I'm enjoying it and really liking it, but I think the story and the characters, they do an amazing job with it, but I think everything after that is just good. I look at, for example, like the perk system. I don't think any of them really do anything too noteworthy or cool. So that like goes to Corey with the experimentation. Like, I don't really think there's too much you can do with the perk system to like customize a character. I also think that the gun system, there's not a lot of variety in that too. And that's fine because I got this game for free, so I don't really care.
Right.
But for $60, I don't know if there is enough there. Again, granted, I've only put 8 hours into it, so I've not seen a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I agree with what you two are both saying, except for it not being worth $60.
It probably is.
Worth $60.
It is. That's a little harsh, but
yeah, it's like you guys are saying. I don't think there's anything remarkable. Like, I didn't play it and think to myself, "Geez, man, I've never played a game like this before. This is like outrageously good." Like I have with, I don't know. I'm struggling to come up with anything now, but there's been games like The Last of Us. When I played that, I was like, "Holy shit, this game's amazing." I certainly didn't get that feeling from it. I think it's like you're saying, it's a good game that just doesn't do anything outrageously well.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's safe, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I mean, safe. I've talked about it being like Fallout New Vegas, and it's very much like mechanically like that. And like you guys said, it blends a couple different games. It blends a little bit of Borderlands. It blends a little Corey mentioned Mass Effect. It blends like the older Fallout games into a safe formula, so to speak. And yeah, I really, it's just like, it's a solid game. Like you guys said, there's nothing too outstanding about it, but there's nothing, in my opinion, nothing like really crappy about it. I think gameplay, it doesn't shine gameplay wise. Shooting's a little RPG and iffy at times. But that was the same way with the Fallout games. You know, the shooting was bad in all of them. Fallout 4 was probably the best shooting wise, and even that was but again, it comes down to the RPG numbers thing.
And I don't even really necessarily dock it for not being a great shooter, because I do love 3 New Vegas, and like those games played like garbage at times. And
that's why they had the VAT system, because they didn't shoot well.
Exactly, and it has its own variation where it slows down time.
Dilation,
so like I'm fine with all of that. It's just kind of like how the perks, like again, like I'm only on the second tier, but it doesn't seem like there's anything too interesting for me to get. Yeah, they're all pretty boring baseline. And then like I look at the guns, it's just like assault rifle 1, assault rifle 2. Like there's nothing like cool or unique about any of the different types of assault weapons. And I don't know if that's just me being like I don't know, picky or finding things to like dock the game for, but like I just felt like a lot of the guns seem a little lazy. And again, I'm only 8 hours in, so I can't really speak too much to that. But for you guys who played more,
I think that's probably fair from what I've gathered so far. You can add things to your weapons, like modify them and add like a shock element thing to it, but
even those just amount to like changes in numbers. It's never anything interesting or fun.
And the perks, like, you know, you don't get excited when you unlock a perk for yourself or one of your travelers that you bring with you. It's like, oh, great, like they're gonna increase their base health by 15%. Like,
right.
You're not gonna notice that, like,
no,
whatever.
Yeah. But with all that being said, though, like I do like the factions and how that's set up. I've liked all of my companions. Like the Sam companion is like my favorite one so far.
Mm-hmm.
Sam, which one is Sam?
The robot in the ship.
Oh.
I haven't gotten him as a companion yet.
I don't have Sam either, actually.
Sam's my favorite person to talk to.
Okay, I'll have to make sure that's the next thing I do then. I didn't realize he was gonna actually could become part of your crew.
I just saw somebody who just said that they beat the game without realizing that.
Oh, really? There you go.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that would have happened to me if you hadn't said something.
Yeah. But I think that's what makes the game interesting is, and we'll probably talk about this while we're talking about the game, but One of the things it does do really well is the multiple pathways to complete your objectives.
Yeah.
That's where the fun is for me. Like, I can look past the not great shooting mechanics. I mostly enjoy doing in a type of game like this, the stealth, with putting heavy points into the like persuasion and dialogue and intimidation stuff.
Yeah.
That's where the fun is for me for this game.
It's
and
interesting
seeing
you bring that.
seeing how people react to you based on all that stuff too. Go ahead, Corey.
You bring that up, and I've actually seen people complain about that because they don't like the fact that you can subvert several hours worth of the game by just doing like a persuade check or something like
I
that.
have
You know,
fantastic news for them. They don't have to use that.
exactly. Yeah, no, I think that's awesome. You can
Yeah.
really
I
love
skip
that.
so many
I put
hours
all
of
my-
story.
Most of my points have gone into that.
Yeah,
It's
I
great.
love that stuff.
And especially if you're into the dialogue and like digging into all the different choices that you have there, why the hell wouldn't you use that?
Right?
Yeah, I mean that's to me that's the shining beacon of the game too. Is the
Yeah.
dialogue and the interesting characters and the characters' interactions with
Yeah.
with each other. That's where the interest is for me, not in run and gun. Although that's an option too. One thing I did want to talk about, since we are all off the initial planet that you started and the Edgewater stuff, do we want to talk about the finishing up the Edgewater plot? Without spoiling too much, we'll get into it a little bit and some of the decisions we made, because we've all, I think, kind of made different choices, right?
Well, Dan and I made the same choice. Corey
Yeah.
made a different choice. I don't know what Will did.
What did Corey pick? Did Corey pick Edgewater?
No.
So Corey picked the botanical garden or whatever?
Yeah, Dan and I picked Edgewater.
Okay, I'm with Corey.
Okay.
Ah, weaklings.
Nice split.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
the way it works is, I'll get into a little bit of the backstory of the game. So you're in this like workers' hell, I guess, for lack of a better word. The people that live in this Edgewater colony are basically slaves to the company that works there. There's a faction that splits off. That faction has a leader. The leader of the corporate town wants the people that split off to come back to the village. So you're given a mission to go to get parts to fix your ship. You need to transfer the power fully to either the town or the splinter faction, and you have a choice. You get both sides of the story. You have a choice on whether or not you want to send the power back to the Edgewater colony or the botanical gardens, which is the splinter faction. That's Eric touching on moral choices there, kind of touched on that earlier in the conversation. So it looks like me and Eric both sent the power back to the town, and Corey and Will sent the power back to the botanical gardens. I did want to hear your reasons why, if you guys want to go, Corey and Will, if you want to talk about why you chose the botanical gardens over the misery colony of Edgewater.
Yeah. So I like that they really challenged you in making this decision. It wasn't very cut and dry, and even I was pretty sure I was going to choose the botanical gardens. And then even like right before you make that decision, Parvati in your party's like, hey, I really think you should divert the power back to Edgewater. It's not right. Yada yada yada.
That
And
threw me for a
normally-
loop, by the way.
Yeah, because normally, like, all right, companion, yes, you always want to make your companions happy because you want to build that relation. Like, it's that old Mass Effect thing of like, whatever you can do to keep your companions happy so you can see their story, you do. But like this game, I felt like handled it a little bit differently, and there were more shades of gray in this kind of stuff, and they don't track your relationship with your companion. So I'm like, you know what, Parvati? No, like, I'm going to stand on principle, and I'm going to keep these people who have managed to find a life outside of the slavery of the corporation they're working for. They figured out a way to make it work. And if they can make it work, why can't everybody else? So that's why I decided to divert the power. And at some point I talked to somebody who I forget exactly what they said, but they got into the existential side of like what it means to be free and all that kind of stuff. And it just really resonated with me. And it was like, you know what? These people are forced into these awful conditions to work for this corporation. I might be damning them that are still there working for the corporation, but maybe I'm setting up a more sustainable future.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much I should say, but like with some of the, like when you talk to Bavardi or whatever, she talks about how her mom was under contract to give up their firstborn to that company,
Yeah.
And how she never got to see her mom and how they worked her dad to death, essentially. And you talked to the bartender in Edgewater, and she said that she wanted to pursue a career in science, but they picked for her to be a bartender.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of stuff like that I was like, you know what? No, like Spacer's Choice and the board is just bad. They're forcing people into stuff that they don't want to be in, is making them miserable. And I wanted to support the people who broke away. And also the leader of the Splinter faction, like her backstory on why she ended up, her final straw was tragic as well. So I was like, you know what? Like, no, I'm not going to support Edgewater and the board. If things go south there, they can potentially join the Splinter faction in the future.
Right. Which is the
It's
hope.
kinda-
Which is the hope going into it. Like I said, this game, or like you guys talked about, this game does Shades of Grey really well, so you didn't know how it ultimately was going to end up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Eric, what was your reasoning for also mine to send the power back to Edgewater?
Well, I think the biggest thing that sold me is it felt as though I was going to be able to do that, but also appease the folks who had splintered off
Gotcha.
by them taking over.
That's the path that I went
So
to.
I thought at that point, kind of everybody won,
Yeah.
except for the asshole who was in charge
Yeah.
of Edgewater.
I can't remember what his name was exactly.
Reed.
Reed, yeah. Reed
Can
Reed
I ask
Thompson.
a question? Can I ask you guys a question about that point?
Yeah.
It never occurred to me that was an option. Was there something that indicated that to you guys that I just might have missed?
I don't think that happened until after I made the decision.
Is that right?
Or maybe it was hinted
Did she
at before.
say something about like getting him to leave before?
Yes,
Yeah.
she did.
Yeah,
So-
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
The reason ultimately I went with Edgewater was because you find out through, I don't know if you find out through dialogue or if you read something somewhere, but the botanical gardens has like a really, really fertile gardens and stuff, even though the soil on the Edgewater colony is mostly dead. But you find out that they're using human corpses to fertilize their crops. And
What? Really?
Yeah.
Yep. That was what
I didn't know that.
that was why I
They're
sided
not
with.
so all high and mighty.
Yeah, that's why I sided with Edgewater. I was like, that's kind of where I draw the line.
Look at me getting defensive over this.
No,
but,
it's fine. It's fine.
they weren't killing those people. They were just
Dang it.
corpses.
We don't know. I don't think she said.
I seem to get the impression that they weren't killing. Maybe I don't know.
That's
was a
just
while
'cause
ago in the
you
game
were
for-
you were drinking the Kool-Aid.
I probably was. I was drinking the hippie Kool-Aid. You're right.
Yeah, you were.
So,
The other reason I was leaning towards Edgewater to begin with, but then when Pavarti spoke up, that sealed the deal.
yeah.
Yeah.
All I could see in the splintered faction was people screaming in the streets on election day. That's the other reason I went with
You like a
Edgewater.
nice orderly society.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, for me the biggest kicker was the corpses. But like Eric said, after you divert the power back to Edgewater, you get the opportunity to go talk to Reed. I was able to talk him into retiring or transferring to somewhere else.
Me
So Caroline, I want to say Caroline, but that's not right. What's the name of the
It starts with an A. doesn't
It's
it?
Adelaide.
Adelaide, that's what it is. Thank you. Adelaide takes over like running the colony at Edgewater. So I haven't been back there to figure out. I just had the ship's computer like tell me, and apparently things are going well there. I don't know. I haven't been back since. I don't know if you can go back. I think you probably can at some point, but yeah.
Yeah, I felt like everybody won there.
Yeah, I agree. That was the best outcome. What happened? Did you guys find out what happened like after?
They were
Yeah,
stoked.
nothing really. I mean, Reed was mad.
Uh-huh.
He left.
He left?
Yeah, he was gonna. He worded it as he had to face punishment from the board for being
Oh.
incompetent.
Oh.
I don't remember that. Maybe I missed it, or maybe he didn't leave. I don't know. But when I went back to get the power, what is it? The power regulator or whatever you
Yeah.
need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I told my guards to shoot you, but you can go get it if you want.
Huh.
So, still had to. Did you have to still go get it, Will, and deal with the
Yeah.
guards?
I told him to tell him to stand down.
Okay. Yeah, you must. Did you convince him or something? You might have had the right
Yeah,
score to convince him to do that.
Who
Basically,
intimidated him?
he gave me I'd use and intimidate, and he also gave me the like, oh, I understand why you made the choice that you made, and I'm gonna go get killed by the board. Basically, is kind of what he said.
Sounds like fascist society that I wouldn't want to support.
Exactly. Screw the board, to be
Hey,
honest.
listen, I don't feel as though I was supporting them. Everybody won.
Yeah,
I knew I was gonna get her. What's her name in there?
I've kind of role played my character as someone who likes to do good, but needs to get paid for it.
Yeah.
So I figured out,
I'll steal when I have to.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to do
Like it,
evil
Dan.
things, but I do. Well, I do want to wet my beak where and when I can.
That's a great saying.
Yeah. So that's kind of the end of the first thing. If you haven't played it, we try not to spoil too much, but it's there.
And back to my point about the game being good but not great, like that wasn't that exciting to me. You're making this huge decision, and the payout is Reed leaves. For us, anyway, and for you guys, I mean, was it exciting?
I liked it.
What happened?
I was content
afterwards.
Yeah, because I wasn't sure going back into, if Reed's guards were gonna try and shoot me. I didn't know what was gonna happen.
And you know what? I would say it was refreshing that we were able to just talk him into it instead of it just turning into a gunfight.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's I don't really mean that. I just mean like it wasn't fun. For me, anyway,
I had fun.
The payout of that whole thing, like
I thought it was fine.
I liked it.
Some people moved, and I mean that to me, it's just a great opportunity to have something cool happen in the game, and it doesn't.
You're probably right. They could have done something bigger, but I was satisfied.
Yeah.
And I feel, I mean, I've been two more places. I'm now in the third place after that, and not to spoil anything, but I felt the same way in those places as well. Like, you're working towards this big thing in this one area, and then you accomplish it, and it's just like there's no payout, there's no payoff other than some experience, some money, and like
right. But isn't that
next quest marker?
Isn't that a metaphor for life?
That's fine, but that doesn't play well in video games. I'm sorry.
Corey's trying to escape that when he's playing video games.
Sure, I understand.
Looking for something a little bigger and better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done most of the stuff on the Groundbreaker too. Yeah, and I think you have a point, Corey. I just feel like I'm more satisfied with the outcomes of things than you.
Me too.
Than you are.
Like, I was excited to go back and talk to Reed about it.
Yeah.
Then we talked it over, and he's like, "Yeah, you're right. I should leave. I'm not the right person for this job." And I thought, you know what? It's refreshing to see somebody with a little self-awareness.
Yeah, because you especially since you weren't really expecting that, you were expecting him to fight over it, and he's like
fully expected a gunfight, and I was like, "Oh, that was kind of cool." Like, just talked him into it.
Yeah. So.
How dare you subvert hours of gameplay, Eric, to get to that choice?
Damn you! You better play it the way I want you to play it.
Yeah, I can't believe that's a complaint about it. That's crazy.
I can believe it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
People
right.
find anything to complain about, won't they?
Anything to get clicks.
Let's see. We had an email. We had an email from Tate specifically about this game. Do we want to talk about it during?
Oh yeah,
this
it's
okay.
timely.
It's relevant to the game.
So he said, this is from Tate. He said, "Sup guys. I'm glad you guys did the episode on the Outer Worlds because I just beat it the other night."
Wow.
Oh wow! Congrats.
Well done, sir. I have quite a few thoughts on it. First of all, I really enjoyed my time with the Outer Worlds. I was captivated by the story and the characters, and I wanted to know where it was all leading and where it was going to end. However, I don't think I will ever play it again. There's hardly any replay value in my mind. I know there's some diversity in how you can handle the game with all the conversations and whatnot, but in the end, I don't think it was quite deep enough for me to call it an all-time great or anything like that. It was a fun one-time playthrough, and I enjoyed my time with it. As soon as the credits rolled, I deleted it off my Xbox. The story, the voice acting, and the characters were really the only great qualities about this game for me. I saw a quote the other day that said something like, "The Outer Worlds is an amazing game if it was 10 years ago." Couldn't agree more with that. I thought the graphics were subpar, weapons and armor were bland, never really were interesting for me throughout the game. The fighting was subpar, and the movement and action was just not there for me all the time. The story and the companions and their stories are what carried me through the game and gave me a positive feel for this game. Had the story sucked and the characters sucked, I wouldn't have played more than 1 hour of this, but I meant what I said last week. This game is, I don't know I needed this at the time, but I need this at the time. It made for a great week of gaming for me, so although I had some negatives, my feelings are positive, and I would recommend at least one playthrough of the Outer Worlds. Last thing I want to say is that I really liked about what they did with the ending. Love the closure I got when the narrator was telling what happened to everyone and everything at the end. When that finished, I just felt super content and happy with the story and how it ended. I'm sure there are other ways it could have ended, but I like how they spelled out exactly what everyone went on doing after our adventure together was over. I also want to say that I enjoyed getting on Twitch while you guys were extra lifing last weekend. Maybe you want to play Stardew Valley again, so I picked that back up this morning. I could listen to that soundtrack all day long. Anyways, that's my thoughts. Taterade out.
Yeah, I think he said echoed a lot of what we've said.
Absolutely. One thing I thought was interesting, and this is an important point with it being N7 day, Mass Effect. One thing that they did was have a narrator explain what everybody did after the game was over, which I really liked. My biggest complaint about the Mass Effect ending at first was it just ended and you don't know what happened. I need to know like what happened to everyone, what things meant, you know. They obviously fixed that with the updated ending in Mass Effect 3, but I'm glad they're going to do that. So when I get to the end, I can know where the path everybody went, you know.
So you know what Pavardi's up to.
Yep, know what Pavardi's up to. I know what the Vicar Max is up to.
He's my favorite. Well, I shouldn't say that, but his story is the one I'm most interested in at the moment.
Okay.
Because it's big. It's I don't want to spoil anything. But...
I thought this the other day, but one of my Tim is also playing this game, and he had a good line that actually I'd sort of felt this way when I was playing it. It's that it's the closest we're going to get to Firefly, the video game.
Yeah,
there's a lot of similarities between Firefly and the Outer Worlds, and I thought that with Vicar Max because obviously there's a holy man in Firefly that is not quite a holy man. And it has a mysterious background. It's the same
that
as
we
Vicar
never
Max.
learn about.
Well, that's just it. The show ended way too soon. You don't learn any of that stuff. But
yeah.
But that's what's interesting about Vicar Max because he's obviously there's more to him than just a holy man. So good stuff. All right, Corey, you have any other thoughts you wanted to touch on?
Yeah, just a couple last points I wanted to make. The game's exceeded sales expectations, which makes me feel good because I do like this kind of game. I can't wait for the Outer Worlds 2. I think that's going to be awesome. I think that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, I read it was a critical and commercial success. So
yeah, so God bless Obsidian. Yeah, I guess that's all I wanted to say. Oh, did you guys realize what the background of the game is?
Yeah.
Like the history?
Yeah.
No.
William McKinley doesn't get assassinated.
Right, which means Teddy Roosevelt doesn't become president, which means all the antitrust laws. Am I right about this? All the antitrust laws and stuff like that never happen.
Yeah.
So that's why the corporations take over and set the stage for this future where corporations rule the galaxy.
Yeah.
Thought that was pretty fascinating.
It was fascinating that they went that far back to come up with the.
Yeah.
Because you could have just said, "Oh, this is how things evolved," but I like that they went back to William McKinley not being assassinated. That's hilarious. Okay. Anyone else have any thoughts? Outer Worlds.
I agree with Corey. I think Outer Worlds 2 is going to be potentially a special game.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I'm also looking forward to it. Also, if you have Game Pass or PC Game Pass, or if you don't and you want to try it, I think you can get PC Game Pass for $1 for a month. So seriously, just try it out. It's
and if you can, I'm sure Black Friday there will be some sort of deal for that.
Oh, I'm sure. And even just buying the game straight up, I'm sure there'll be Black Friday deals for it already. So, okay. Anything else anyone else wants to add about Outer Worlds before we move on? No.
Nope.
All right. Nibblebits. Corey, did you want to start with Nibblebits?
I don't want to steal anybody's.
It's fine.
And I just pulled up a couple quick ones.
I don't think anyone has anything set aside. I know I don't.
How about Super? Go ahead, Will.
I was gonna say I have some stuff, but it doesn't matter if Corey takes it or not.
Yeah, that's fine.
I was just gonna say that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the best-selling fighting game in history.
Well deserved.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I agree.
That's an accolade to a game that deserves it.
Great game.
in my opinion.
I thought that was pretty
Agreed.
cool.
Say what you want about the DLC characters too, and I see people complaining that Terry from Fatal Fury got added, but I mean, what other game is this ambitious by adding all these other mascots to the game at this
Yeah.
point?
Right.
Not
I
just-
never thought Joker, Hero, Sonic, these guys would be in it. It's cool.
Not just that, but the amount of balance that it has. That really, like, I know there's tier lists and stuff, but if you come across a player that's good with a character, you can get beat. You can get burned. So
Absolutely.
really,
And we're getting a second season pass too. Like,
yeah, really anyone's viable. So
Oh, they're putting more characters out?
yeah,
yep, five more, I think.
yeah.
Wow.
So we can let all of our fantasies run wild for who we want to see in Smash.
We could see a lot of complaining.
Oh, we'll definitely see a lot of complaining. No matter who goes on there, we'll see a lot of complaining.
Yep.
Oh, my obscure anime character, didn't make the list. An anime character from the 70s didn't make the list. Game sucks.
It's how it is. It's so annoying.
Yeah, it is annoying.
Nobody's happy ever.
Well, it drives clicks though. That's it. We live in a
Negativity drives clicks.
click-driven society. Because there's enough people that care about that 70s anime character that will read that article to earn that person some revenue.
Or retweet.
Or
a
they'll at
tweet.
least like to jump on the bitchin' bandwagon.
Yeah.
That's why I don't go to Polygon anymore.
I don't look at anything anymore.
No.
Destructoid's the only site really I use at this point.
I'm a shut-in.
Nope. One log cabin short of it.
Anything else, Corey?
I was going to point out also that Ubisoft is profit down by 93% this year.
Their profits are down.
Woo.
No,
Yes.
no big games.
Yeah, I don't think
Year
they
on
had
year.
anything.
Year-on-year decline of 93%. They had Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which is what
Which
they
was
pinned all the
terrible.
blame on. I've heard that it was terrible. But they didn't mention in this financial report anything about what's the other one? Division 2, which also didn't hit sales expectations. They probably just want to protect that brand a little bit more than they do Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Division 2 is really good. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I've heard good things. But also, yeah, it just sounds like trouble. They delayed 3 of their upcoming AAA titles, including Gods and Monsters, Rainbow Six Quarantine, and Watch Dogs Legion. So,
Maybe that was a
That-
financial move.
That Ghost Recon game's on sale already on Xbox.
Oh, really?
So actually, from what I've heard from various places, that Ubisoft is not happy with how Breakpoint launched at and like how everyone's receiving it. Now they're making the developers take more time to work on their game, which is how it should be.
Right.
Just why weren't they doing that before?
I think most of it can be down to them setting hard deadlines so they can make money. I think that's where most of it comes from. And at least Ubisoft is willing to adapt, whereas like an EA isn't.
Yeah, I think too. Like, what was anyone clamoring for the new Ghost Recon? Was anyone like I barely even knew that game existed.
Nobody.
I'm with you. I wasn't. I do know at least one person that was excited for it, but
Was
I
it
know
Shane?
one Ghost Recon
Yeah.
fan.
Shane was excited for Ghost Recon
Shane's
Breakpoint.
excited for every game.
he is excited for every game.
That's wow.
So,
Okay.
I don't know. To Will's point though about Ubisoft being willing to adapt, the article I read did say that they, how did they phrase it? They're looking for. The reports that the company is now requiring super unique pitches from its development teams after the game's disastrous performance, both critically and commercially. So
that was going to be my next point. Like that game, it seems like there's 20 other games that are just like that.
exactly, it's exhausting.
It's like churning out more Far Cry at this point.
Yeah.
While they're good games, like come on,
Give us
just gotta
something different.
do
Something
something different.
Anything at this point.
Gears, Halo, I could go on.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else, Corey?
No.
Will, what do you got?
I have have a little bit out here. For starting, I mean, we talked about it already. Terry from Fatal Fury is now in Smash, so go update your game, play him. He's a heavy hitter. He's actually a pretty fun character. As somebody who was disappointed to see him get announced, I played him a little bit last night and actually kind of had some fun with him. He has some pretty fun moves. So
Is he like you say heavy hitter? I think of the boxer.
he's a little bit like
Little Mac.
Ryu,
Little Mac, yeah.
Ken, kind of like all of them. Like he can kill pretty quickly.
Those are my favorites.
He kills early. He's a heavyweight, so like he doesn't get knocked around as much. He's a little bit more grounded. Doesn't fly through the air as easily.
How's his
So
recovery?
bad.
Ugh.
I didn't think it was good. I obviously haven't been able to test it out too much. I only played a couple rounds with him, but yeah, you're gonna have to get creative with how you recover. So that's Terry. We only got one more character for season 1 now, so we're just waiting for the announcement for that.
What's the rumor?
No one's really sure because all of the leaks that happened, they've all been
mostly false.
mostly false. There have been some common threads, but like not enough of the leaks have been true to be like, oh, this is going to be confirmed. So, yeah, no idea who it's going to be.
All right.
Hopefully Gino. Anyway, we've had BlizzCon, so there's a lot to talk about with that. Starting, we got Overwatch 2 announcement. It's adding PvE, a new character, story, on top of new game modes and multiplayer, stuff like that. The creative director said that he has no idea when it's going to come out. So,
Yeah. One thing I wanted to mention for that was that Overwatch and Overwatch 2 players, there's all the competitive stuff is going to be back and forth. Like you can play Overwatch competitively with Overwatch 2 players.
Really?
Yeah, Overwatch 2 seems like it's going to be mostly the PvE stuff.
That's interesting. So I wonder how they're going to launch that, if it's just going to be like spend $30 to get, like, you know how Fortnite Chapter 2 is a thing? Like $30 to get Overwatch Chapter 2. I wonder if it's going to be done like that. Get the new character, because there is a new character too.
Yeah.
So I'm actually excited for that. I really like Overwatch, and I want to play Overwatch more, but
We should.
I'm definitely down to play Overwatch whenever, because it is a fun game.
If anyone wants to play Overwatch, just let me know. I'll be glad to play. Mystery
Is that
Heroes.
cross-platform?
I don't think so. Or is it now?
That's a good Google question right
It
here,
is.
because I am not sure.
Overwatch Mystery Heroes is so fun. And you don't get the salt for not playing your character the right way, because no one's playing their characters the right way.
So there's no cross play.
Okay. I
You
didn't
must
think
be
so.
a noob, Dan.
I am a noob.
I play all my characters the right way.
Well, here's the thing, Dan.
All
If
of
we
them.
all play together, no one's gonna give you a hard time for being bad for your character, unless
Yeah.
like the 5th person on the team says something.
Yeah, we'd have to find a 5th.
Which it could get Johnny to do it, probably.
Yeah, okay.
I miss playing Tracer and Zenyatta, personally.
Yeah, that game was fun.
That game's really fun.
Okay.
Moving on to another fun Blizzard game, Diablo 4
Yeah.
got announced as well. It will feature a shared open world with 5 regions and a non-linear campaign. On top of the Druid, Sorceress, and I think the Barbarian are all announced classes. It kind of seems like it's not a spiritual successor to Diablo 2, but it has the same 3 classes from Diablo 2. The Druid, Sorceress, and Barbarian were all in there. But I'm really excited for Diablo 4. I don't know if you guys have seen any gameplay, but it looks fun. I can't wait to play it.
I'll be getting it, so I don't even need to look at the gameplay.
Yep. It'll be PC, PS4, Xbox One, all confirmed. No release window yet. So who knows when this is coming, but I would imagine 2 years we'll be waiting for this.
My initial thought, okay, so I heard that it was online only. And my initial thought was, did they not learn their lesson from Diablo 3?
And my answer to that
is this going to
Diablo-
take a week before it works?
well, my answer to that is Diablo 3 has been always online.
Yeah.
So
But when
I don't
it
know.
launched, it was a hot mess.
It took
right?
a week before I could play it, I
Mhm.
think.
well, here's the thing with
remember
Diablo
that.
3, it was the most successful launch of any game ever at that point. So you were having millions and millions and millions of players. I'm not giving it a pass by any means. But yeah, with how much players went in to play that, I don't know if they
Well,
weren't
that wasn't
prepared.
the only issue. I think
Auction house,
in terms, yeah, the auction house was a big mess too, right?
which yeah, they said they're not even doing anything like that for this one. So
That's good.
At least
I'd
they
like to
won't
go
let-
back and
learn
listen
that
to the
lesson.
episode we did about that because I think we ripped it up pretty good.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Well, I remember my biggest complaint was what took so long, because there
Yeah.
wasn't much to the game.
yeah,
Very true. That is very true.
yeah. Wasn't there that article that said that they spent so much time trying to figure out the auction house and stuff like that, and that's why the game was so light at start?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Is there a game that's recovered better than Diablo 3 though?
No Man's Sky.
Yeah, No Man's Sky probably is another one that's recovered really well.
I'd like to go back and try that again.
There's a few out there. It's the exception rather than the rule.
Yeah,
It's tough to do because people just want like that instant gratification now, so people lose interest so fast.
Yeah. Because I put a thing on our Instagram about whether people would rather see a Mass Effect trilogy remake or Mass Effect Andromeda 2. And Tito answered that he wanted to see them fix Anthem. It's like, well, normally I'd say that's too late, but that games can come rising from the ashes. But I don't know if that's going to be one of them.
I don't think those ashes are still smoldering for anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Except Tito.
even
Bless his heart.
even No Man's even No Man's Sky for how light it was at launch still had like a dedicated player base and
Right.
people doing cool things in it and putting stuff out there. I don't know if Anthem has any of that.
I barely heard a peep about Anthem.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
completely forgot about it.
Yeah,
Same.
I uninstalled it.
there was an article on either Destructoid or Kotaku, I can't remember where, that said Anthem is launching this raid for the one player that it still has this week.
Yeah.
Kotaku. Assholes.
Anyway, what else you got, Will?
Warcraft 3 Reforged beta coming very soon. I know the people who attended BlizzCon got access to it, and I think it's starting to be rolled out to some people. So that'll be coming out soon. That'll be $30 for that game on Battle.net. I will be getting that whenever it's...
What is this now?
Remember Warcraft 3?
No.
It's the
Strategy.
RTS game from the World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Job's done.
Job's done.
So
Yeah.
they remade it completely.
Oh, nice.
And it's coming to Battle.net, and it'll be out. It's
$30?
I think $30. Actually, for an
I'll
extra
probably get
$10 over the $30 edition. So yeah, it's $30 for the standard edition.
I'd
So-
probably be down for that.
I'm
I'll get
very
it.
excited to play it.
I love RTS games.
Especially that one. That one's a classic. I have that one up there with Age of Empires for my favorite RTS games.
Oh
So-
yeah, I'll have to keep my eye on that. Do we have a release window for that?
It's supposed to be this year. If I were to guess, it's going to be Q1 next year. Yeah, because I don't, unless they just
There's
launch
not
it.
much time left this year.
Yeah, we've got 7 weeks.
Yeah.
There's that, and last but not least, everything with the Pokemon new games have leaked online. There's a lot of unhappy people right now.
Yes, people are getting stuff spoiled for them.
And that's not even the stuff that the content of the spoilers is what's making people angry. So, it actually put me off enough. I was going to buy 2 copies, but the things that I saw put me off just enough to only get 1.
Is that what put you off enough? I just thought you didn't want to spend the money on it.
That, and I was like, so I was put off just enough by some of the Pokemon that made it and some that didn't, and some of the post game content, that I was like, I only need 1 version of this. I'd rather get a car. So I was like, I'm just going to save the money.
Sounds like you don't need any versions of that shit game.
I'm going to play it, and I'm going to love it, and it's probably going to be in my top 5 for
And then
game of
you'll
the
buy
year.
the other one.
And then I'll buy the other one. Yeah. So I will literally get to Connecticut and like living with Johnny, and like he'll make me impulse buy it. I know it. It's what always happens.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay.
Well, what's the appeal there?
for Pokemon,
Yeah.
that's actually a really good question. I like the monster collecting aspect of it and raising a 6-man team and doing battles with other people's 6-man teams. I like that. I like starting with a baseline team and leveling them up and evolving them. And a lot of that is childhood too. It's just something that stuck with me from my childhood that I love playing, that I still like playing into my adulthood. I'm just not passionate enough about it to throw a rage fit when Pokemon get cut from the game.
Well, you're just logical.
Yeah, because I'm a logical person. So, yeah,
And
I
you
guess
don't
that
make any money on the internet.
exactly. I'm just a person. Nintendo
Yeah.
doesn't care. No, Nintendo doesn't care what I think, or Game Freak. So,
Yeah, you don't profit from your opinion, so you can have a rational one.
yeah, exactly.
That Let's Go Pikachu. I don't know what I was expecting when I purchased that game. I really don't. But man, I couldn't have been less like
That one, aside from the graphical improvements, was pretty much a 1-to-1 remake of Red and Blue, first gen.
yeah. And again, it's probably my fault. I guess I didn't know what I was expecting more. But I was like, well, I'm just collecting these Pokemon, and I guess that's what this game is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know why, for the life of me, Nintendo hasn't pitched the idea to Game Freak to do a more in-depth like Pokemon RPG.
Because the loyalists who are gonna buy all the copies of the games would be very upset if you change the formula too much.
But they did with the Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu. They made it dumber and easier.
Yeah.
You don't even battle until you fight a trainer, and that's that. And even then, like, the AI is so bad that it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's a market to have the Let's Go game. They could get away with doing the normal iterations that they do every year, and then, like, maybe every now and again put out, like, a more in-depth Pokemon game where it's more of an RPG element, like, more intense battling. Like, I feel like there's a market for that. Like, I would be interested.
God, absolutely.
Yeah.
I could be interested in something like that.
Yeah, it might bring in some of the people like Eric and Corey who aren't that into Pokemon anymore because it's been the same thing for 20 years. Like, bring some more life into the
I
IP.
just think about, like, I feel like if they did, like, a mix of all the different Pokemon spin-offs, did, like, an open world game where you could just explore and find, like, these Pokemon in the wild.
Yeah.
Maybe do, like, a Pokemon Snap, like, side thing where you took pictures of them, and then also have the battling be, like, a Pokemon Stadium-esque battle system.
Yeah.
And just make it bigger, you know, instead of just, like, I don't know.
Well, my dream Pokemon game is there's 8 regions in the game, and like in the game world now, like launch an MMORPG where you pick what region you want to start in, and like you can start in Gen 4 region, Gen 3 region, like all of these millions of players across the world do that, train your team, battle each other like that, do the gyms there, like a massively multiplayer game. I don't know why that's a huge undertaking probably.
Well, sure it is, but I think it'd be huge.
Yeah, it'd be massively successful. There's no way it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Pokemon MOBA.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that
you could play on the Switch.
Is the perfect Pokemon game.
Yeah. Could you imagine
so many Pokemon to choose from too?
That would be a good spin-off title anyway.
Oh, Dan, just think about it, like all the different teams you could put together and like
yeah, like the different typings for the different Pokemon like have an impact on the battle.
Yes.
And you would evolve.
That would be amazing.
If you had a Pokemon that evolved, you would evolve like during the game based on experience that you get.
Yeah.
More powerful.
Yes, exactly.
Wait, cut the show. We're giving away our ideas. It's gonna happen.
We already
you know
gave
that,
away
right?
Pokemon Go.
Exactly.
How much more can we give Game Freak for their successes here? Like we gave them Pokemon Go and then 2 new ideas tonight.
We've made a few predictions.
The MOBA. Oh man, I'd be so ready for that.
Yeah, that would be great.
That would be like Heroes of the Storm level of conversation on this podcast.
I'm with you though, Will. I would love to see more in-depth Pokemon game. I'll be interested mostly to see where the new game fits in, because I know it's slightly different than the other ones, but I don't know how different. Like, I feel like maybe it's gonna bridge the gap between like the old Pokemons and Pokemon Future, you know. But I don't know how big of a jump it's gonna be. I haven't seen enough gameplay and stuff to figure that out.
as somebody who has read a lot of the leaks, I have zero context for any of the story or gameplay mechanics that they talk about because like I have kind of avoided trying to keep up with all of that just because like I kind of want to be surprised.
Yeah.
I will say that a lot of the Gen 8 Pokemon original, while there's not a lot of them, I think there's only like maybe 60 new Pokemon, which is a little disappointing. The designs are really good.
Yeah,
And there's a
I
lot
agree.
of really cool typings that they have. There's like a bug ice Pokemon, there's like a dark psychic typing. Like there's a lot of really cool designs and a lot of really cool typings that they've done, which makes me kind of excited. To play and see and how the game is. I think the game's going to be really good overall for Pokemon. I just think people are going to be expecting more for the first Switch game.
Gotcha.
Also, Score Bunny's evolution line's awful. Don't pick Score Bunny.
Okay. Sounds good.
That's just a quick heads up.
All right. That's an aside. Yeah, because I've actually got to pre-order that, so I got to pick it up on Friday morning. So.
Yeah, we're a week away. That's crazy.
A week away. Yeah. Okay.
So that's it for my nibble bits, though. Sorry,
Right.
they're a little winded.
No, that's fine. I only have one, so I'll do that real quick. It's that I don't know if you guys heard this, but a member of the FaZe clan, FaZe Jarvis, was caught cheating in Fortnite and
I actually did see
has
this.
been permabanned.
Nice.
And
Now I wanted to get your guys' opinion. The general consensus seems to be, at least from fans or whatever, is that it's well deserved. You're a cheater. You should be done. And
Yeah.
I'm in agreement
Absolutely.
with that sentiment. That seems to be what everyone says. Fair punishment. So
I'd probably take it on a case by case.
okay.
Do you know what the scenario was?
He was doing a YouTube video for. I'm calling it up right now because I want to get the details right. I don't want to get it wrong.
We don't want to skewer him.
Yeah. Discovered that he'd been using a hacking method to cheat in the game. He was using an aimbot.
Wasn't it in two specific scenarios though?
I don't remember.
It was. I can't remember what the exact scenario was, but it seemed like he was doing it like when it wasn't competitive matches or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember.
I would say if he's doing anything competitive, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it's competitive for sure.
Yeah, I know he was doing it in the creative mode, but I also think he played a few matches with the aimbot, in regular like matchmaking or whatever. So
Yeah, fuck him.
yeah, I
Off
mean,
you go.
yeah. It's very clearly stated, and Epic Games has said this before, but if you're caught using cheating software, like there's zero tolerance for any of that.
Oh,
so.
well then, yeah, there you go. See ya.
Yep. So they've been very clear about that all along. That's always the punishment for someone who is caught cheating.
I feel like you have to be strict. There's no shortage of
do.
players, and there's no shortage of people playing these types of games that would feel no guilt cheating. So
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
You're dealing with young people a lot too. Like they're just not,
Right.
they haven't matured all the way. So I
true.
did stupid stuff when I was that age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still
unfortunately
do.
didn't make any money off of it.
Sure. So yeah, that was my one nibble bit. Let's get into our weeks. First of all, I guess we'll talk about Extra Life, right, Corey?
Sure.
I did want to thank the donors. Before we do anything, I'll thank our donors. So we got a donation from Joe S., Kristen G., Allie, Kathy and John, which are our aunt and uncle. Anonymous donor, Idaho Jake, Sophie, John, anonymous donor, Ciro, Michael Nelson, M. Nels in Minnesota, Michael, Minnesota, Bubby, which is our mom. Who put Bubby in there? Anonymous donor, anonymous donor, anonymous donor, anonymous donor, and Did You Walk Today also donated.
Right.
So thank you everyone for your donations. However, if you haven't donated and you still want to, you have until the end of the year to do so. We're at 31% of our goal, which is $620 out of 2,000. I do plan on doing at least one more stream. It won't be a 24-hour stream, but maybe a long stream on a weekend day, and try to get some of those those donations up. So I
And
have to
pick a
donate
day,
myself.
and I'll join you for a while.
Okay, it'll be in December sometime, probably early to mid December if I had to guess.
Early to mid-December is perfect.
Okay,
I was gonna suggest something, Dan.
go ahead.
Stardew Tuesdays.
Stardew Tuesdays.
TEWS.
Oh,
Stardew Tuesdays.
gotcha.
No.
So I should say too,
Shot down.
we only played 2 games together. It was Stardew Valley, which probably took up what 18, 19 hours of the stream.
Yeah.
That was completely
Wow.
unexpected, not planned. It just me and Corey started with Stardew Valley first thing on the Nintendo Switch too. Which, if you ever get the opportunity to play Stardew Valley co-op, it's super easy. I didn't know what to expect. We didn't set it up ahead of time, like we like to do sometimes. I fully expected having to fight it, but I started a farm. Corey saw it on his like co-op list. I guess because we're Switch friends, he joined, and it was that simple. It was great. So we played Stardew Valley and Switch for, was it 11, 12 straight hours? Before we even played
Sounds about
anything
right.
else. Then we switched over to Fortnite. So me and my son Max and Corey played Fortnite. Fortnite squads. We got 3 out of 4 matches that we played. We had squad victories. Which is crazy. The matchmaking I think was a little bit in our favor, but we definitely killed some actual real players. There's a few hard players in there. A few bots here and there. A little bit of luck definitely was in there. Then we went back to Stardew Valley for a little bit, and then we went back to Fortnite when Eric joined us later on. We ended up with 1 squad victory. What did we play?
The last match of the night.
It was the last match of the night. We played, what, 5 or 6 maybe?
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact amount, but we came close a couple times. But got that squad victory towards the end there. And then back to Stardew Valley until the wee hours of the morning. Will actually joined us at some point. Was it like 1 or 1:30, Will, when you joined us?
Yeah, I joined the Skype call at like maybe 12:30, and then officially started playing at like 1:30, and then we played until about like 3 maybe.
Okay.
Ish.
And we stopped playing Stardew Valley at that point, and Corey and Will both left. Corey was not looking good.
No, I knew from the moment I woke up that morning that I didn't feel right. And it wasn't that I felt sick or anything, but like I didn't get enough sleep, and just getting up at that hour when you're not used to it is just, I don't know, it kind of takes a lot out of you. And so throughout the day I was trying to compensate by drinking caffeine. I had like 4 different kinds of caffeine. I had coffee, I had tea, I had an energy drink, and then I had one of those V8 energy drinks. And then I had coffee again, and I don't know, like right around 2:00 is when I started to get like motion sickness, sort of. But I had just like this headache, and I was kind of dizzy, and I did feel like I was gonna vomit by about 3:00. And at that point, like any fun just sort of ceased.
Yeah.
Just because when you can't even look at the screen to play a video game, it's like, what am I doing right now? You know,
Yeah,
I don't know.
motion sickness from Stardew Valley, huh?
Yeah, but then I was thinking about it the next day. I'm like, gosh, I wussed out at 3 a.m. for this charity event for these kids that experience what I experienced that night on a daily basis, and I like quit just to go to
Good way to
bed.
look
And I'm
at it.
like, man, I'm a real coward.
You owe them 2 hours.
Yeah, I didn't have far to go.
Well, you worded it like that, Corey.
Yeah, right.
Tough way to look at it. It's the right way to look at it, but it's a tough way to look at it.
Yeah.
Not the way you want to look at it, yeah.
No. So I did not make it, but put in a good effort and had a great time playing Stardew Valley. That as you mentioned, Dan, that 18 hours or however long we played.
It flew by.
It went quick.
It really did. We got through. We were like halfway through fall, weren't we? By the time we finished.
Yeah.
So.
Which that's why I suggest the Stardew Tuesdays, because I want to keep playing. I don't want that to.
Oh, I would very much love to keep
fall
playing.
by the wayside.
Yeah.
Could I join in?
Yeah.
Point?
I set up a 4-person farm, so Will
Okay.
wasn't there at the beginning, but he just jumped in.
So open shack.
Now, if you told me it was on Switch, I may have done that. I thought you guys were playing on PC.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I honestly like how it plays better on Switch than on PC.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it played really well.
So.
Sure.
But yeah, then I finished. I switched back over to Fortnite because I was starting to get a little bit tired at that point.
Getting loopy.
I needed something a little more where I needed to focus a little bit more because the music in Stardew Valley, it's very soothing. So I started to get a little bit tired. So I switched over to Fortnite. I played Fortnite and I had Avenger for a little while, keeping me company, and then pretty much the second Avenger stopped watching, our E3 correspondent John jumped in and was
Nice.
keeping me company for the rest of the night. So that was awesome.
Good.
I did end up getting a solo dub, which was also nice.
Oh, tired too.
Wow.
Impressive.
Yeah, well, it was funny because I was talking to John the whole time, and I had one time where I got a little scatterbrained, and I'm like, I'm sorry, that was terrible shooting. He's like, yeah, it was terrible shooting, but you've also been playing video games for 23 hours straight. It's like, that is a great point. I never would have thought about that. So I played that until about 4:30, and then I switched over to Mario Kart 8 to finish off, and I did probably 4 or 5 Mario Kart races to finish off the night. Finished a hair after 5 p.m. or 5 a.m. rather. So. And I wasn't too awful tired. I was more the whole struggle for me was being comfortable. I do not sit for this long. I'm always on my feet, so it was very weird to sit in a chair for that long because it just doesn't happen, So I was trying to keep myself from getting too sore and my legs going numb from sitting for so long and all that stuff. That was the biggest
It's not a
challenge.
great feeling.
No. But I didn't feel too. I actually considered playing more video games after I finished. It's like, do I just want to stay up the whole night? But I went to bed at probably 5:15, and I got up at was it like 9:30 maybe, and I was fine. I went to bed at like 11 on Sunday. It was fairly easy.
I still got my 8 hours. How about that?
Nothing wrong with that.
Went to bed at 3, slept till 11.
Nice.
Damn.
So
My body doesn't allow me to sleep past 7 anymore. I just wake up.
my natural like circadian rhythm is like 3 to 10. If I can go to bed at 3 and wake up at 10, that's like perfect for me. But I just can't, unfortunately. But yeah, that was
Wow, I need 12 hours.
12 hours.
Yeah.
12 hours.
I'm not kidding. I need like 8, 9 to.
See, if I sleep too much, I feel like garbage too.
Me too.
Yeah.
My sweet spot is 6 hours.
Yeah, I'm between 6 and 7 usually is my best.
If I sleep for 8 or 9, I wake up and I'm like, oh my god, what planet am I on?
I'm just gonna go back to bed.
Yeah, put me out of my misery.
So all in all, it was an awesome extra life. I was shocked that we only really played 2 games, then
Yeah.
a little Mario Kart at the end. But yeah, it was fun. And that's a good idea, Corey, about continuing the Stardew Valley. I think we should do that.
Stardew Tuesday.
Stardew.
Dan, we should
Tuesdays.
set up like a weekly Fortnite.
I'm good.
Stream.
Fortnite Friday.
I'm good with doing
Oh.
that too.
Yeah. Friday we could talk about this off the air, but
Gotcha.
that would be actually perfect.
I'm down for anything. I don't have much going on. for
I'd
the
rather
most part.
reworkshop ideas on air.
We've
Um,
done that in the past.
We've done whole episodes of
We've done
workshop.
whole episodes about workshopping
That's
ideas.
probably going to come up again at
Yearly.
some point. You don't have a
Great
topic for that
podcast.
week. You just let's talk about what we want to do in the future.
Let's workshop what we're going to talk about.
Yep.
Hey, I will say, transparency for brands is big in this day and age. So
Sure.
we
Yeah,
should also
well,
talk about our financials on here.
We
The
have-
podcast is not
Oh.
profitable. Hasn't
in case you're
ever been.
wondering.
Oh, that's not true. I think we had 1 month towards the beginning where we it was 1 month of profit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
How much? Wait, were we up like? Was it like 50 cents or something like that?
I love it.
No, it was a decent month with when we first did our Amazon link, and we made a killing off of that for one. Not a killing, but we made decent off of that. Sick
wasn't
Ed,
it
thanks
Google
for
that-
subscribing.
Woo!
Very much.
Wasn't it
appreciated.
Google that we got banned from? The Google ad thing.
Yeah.
We were gaming click. Well, we weren't gaming clicks. We had fans that were gaming clicks.
Yeah. We didn't know. That was in the early days of all that stuff for us, so we didn't know it was
We didn't know better.
frowned upon.
I don't even know what you're
Not
talking
that
about.
we asked for it.
Yeah.
We appreciated it though.
But
Back when
anyway,
we were real.
back when we were real.
When Corey and I were hammered at this hour,
Definitely hammered
arguing about Dead Island.
or
Yeah.
anything else.
Corey, do you have anything else you want to talk about for your week?
No, no.
Yeah, Extra Life was pretty much all I had too. Eric, do you have anything?
No,
Will?
nothing interesting.
Nothing. I'm recovering finally. I'm finally starting to feel good. So
Okay.
I do want to give just quickly a quick shout out to
Yeah.
the Dark Crystal series on Netflix. I don't know if anybody's watched it.
No, but I want to.
What is it?
Definitely give it a watch. I wouldn't say it's great or anything, but you just don't see. I mean, Jim Henson's Muppets. You just don't see that anymore. At that level, like, I don't know. I want them to keep making more of those kinds of things. So please watch it so they continue to make it.
What's the short version?
I don't know if you ever watched the Dark Crystal movie,
No.
but it's the prequel to that movie, 80s fantasy with Muppets movie. Netflix wanted to do an animated series, and whatever producer went back to the team that wanted to develop it and said, well, how much to do it with Muppets like they did the movie? And they were elated because that's what they wanted to do, but it's so expensive to do that style of show that they didn't think it was possible. So it's a big deal that they did it, and the puppetry is awesome, and those guys and gals that run those puppets, from what I understand, get no credit. They're treated like trash. So
Really?
you can support their work.
I've heard the practical effects in that are really good too.
Yeah, it's mostly practical effects,
Yeah.
very little CG.
Yeah, that's how The Witcher's supposed to be too, from what I hear.
That's exciting. That's good. Yeah.
Since we're talking TV real quick, I recently started rewatching Breaking Bad.
Uh-huh.
And I'll tell you what, I didn't give that show enough credit the first time I watched it. It is so fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it is fantastic.
I think it's the highest rated TV show of all time on IMDb, right?
I'm not
I could
surprised
see
to
it.
hear that. There's a character in it who might very well be the character that I have disliked on a passionate level more than any other thing I've ever watched.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I can tell you it's been out for a while. Which
Yeah.
one, Eric? Walter's wife.
Oh,
Oh. I can't get into why in case somebody hasn't watched it
I
yet.
haven't seen it.
Not
Yeah.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys need to watch it.
Yeah, I'll
Come on,
definitely see it at some point.
come on,
please
Dan.
do.
I don't have any time.
Not
to
one
watch
for the
stuff.
kids
No.
being around, though, I can tell you that.
No, definitely not.
It's fantastic.
Okay. Should we get into what we played? Eric, I'll start with
Yeah.
you. You had a strategy you wanted to cover.
Yeah, so it's pretty sad, really. I'm really bad at the new Call of Duty, but I really like it. So, like, it's tough because, like, I want to play it. I have a good time with it. We kind of talked about when we did our episode on it, you know, how people are camping a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is when people are talking about camping, I'm setting up like a camp. I just find a building and I pick the perk where I get an extra explosive. So, and my perks recharge. So I just set up a bunch of claymores at any entrance that somebody could come in. So a lot of my kills anymore are mostly by claymore because I'm not a very good shot.
Uh-huh.
But I'll kill somebody, and a lot of times what they'll do when somebody's camping as a sniper or something is they'll want to come back for revenge. But I have so many claymores available to me that they can't really get to me. It's
That's
really
fantastic.
pathetic. It is so pathetic.
Hey, man.
Hey, as long as you're having fun, who cares? You're playing
Yeah.
the game.
Yeah.
You know, I contribute like, I don't know, a handful of kills, you know, between probably 4 and 7
Uh-huh.
a game and a few deaths.
Okay.
So, you know, but it's
And
just
that's
pathetic.
well, no, that's what we have to do.
That's how I scrape by.
Yeah, exactly. You're making your own fun in the game, and that's fine. I actually briefly watched some Ninja was doing duos on his stream today with someone, and watching high level play of that game, I just don't even know how they can do that. It's crazy.
I don't either, Dan.
The shots, the aiming, the strategy even of what they do. It's like holy, like another level stuff.
I just don't have the Twitch reflex anymore to get these guys. It's frustrating because I want to play it, but like this is literally the only way that I can play it and have fun.
Yeah.
But I openly admit that it's pathetic.
You could probably get to that point, or at least be effective if you played it all the time, but you just can't.
Maybe. I honestly don't think so.
Okay.
But I feel like I'm helping my team in a couple of ways because sometimes I can be a distraction to the other team if they get frustrated enough.
Yeah, and try to come at you.
But also I'm not taking as many deaths because I'm not running around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're not feeding.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's right. I'm not a feeder.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I played.
Okay.
Oh wait. One other thing. I told you guys about this, but I was at Costco the other day. And if you have a Costco where you live, you should definitely go check out and see if they have like, I don't want to say mini arcade cabinet because I don't think mini is the right word, but it's a smaller version arcade cabinet.
Like a condensed.
You could put it in your house and
Yeah.
like it wouldn't take up a ton of room. Like
Yeah.
I could literally put it here next to the computer, but of Golden Tee, the golf game.
Uh-huh.
It was 3 Golden Tee games like you'd see out at a bar. And I'll tell you what, I was expecting it to be kind of shitty, but man, I wanted to purchase it. It was awesome.
How much was it?
It was only $3.50.
Oh, that's not bad.
Oh, it is
Not bad, right? So they had that one. They had Mortal Kombat. It had 3 Mortal Kombats on it, like the older ones.
Mhm.
And then they had a Pac-Man. But man, Golden Tee, I don't know what it is about that game. It is so fun.
Yeah.
I think it's the skee ball thing. It's just like so good. So if you have a Costco, I spent like a half hour there by myself yesterday playing it. So
There's
That's good
one
stuff.
where I'm going to be living in Connecticut.
oh dude, I fucking love Costco. Don't even get me going. It's like my favorite place.
Yeah, no, I've heard nothing but great things about it there.
$1.50 hot dog.
Oh,
Things like as long as your arm. Anyway, that's it.
Real quick before I talk about what I played, I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on Death Stranding.
I'm going to be honest with you.
I'm not interested.
The IGN review pretty much seals what I'm going to think of the game.
Are you gonna play it?
I will get it when it's on sale,
Okay.
whenever that is. I'm going to play Metal Gear 5 at some point this year. And
Yeah, that's a good one.
celebration.
Corey?
That's one you should play.
I don't know enough about it to really say either way. The review scores compel me to try it, but I don't really have a way to do that. So
Yeah, they seem to
It's
be
supposed
pretty,
to be coming
pretty
out on
mixed.
other things though, right?
Yeah, it's
PC next
coming
year.
to PC next summer.
It's I've heard it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't want to play a game where I have to try to figure out how I'm going to balance my cargo on my back so I don't fall and lose all of it and then have to go pick it up and then re-fall again. That sounds like a horrible time.
Sick Kid says he's gonna try it. I am also weirdly interested in it. I feel like I need to play it just because I don't know. There's just something compelling me to try it, and I can't quite put my finger on it.
The Kojima factor.
I don't even know if it's that. It's the
Doritos factor.
it's people are gonna be
Yeah.
talking about it for a while, and I'm really interested to see how the disparate game elements that I've heard about it come together and to form, if you can call it a cohesive package. But
Probably can't, but
yeah,
when does that game come out?
tomorrow.
Today. Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I don't know if you could call Metal Gear 5 cohesive, but I fucking love that game.
no, but that had amazing gameplay.
amazing.
So I don't know that Death Stranding has that. You know.
Well, don't worry about the story mode there.
No, I tried to follow it. I really did, and it was a failure.
Just enjoy your time.
Yeah, from when I'm reading on Reddit a lot that people are just saying Kojima he pleasures himself in his story just by how
He's fucking
It's
weird guy.
Self-flagellating.
He's a weird dude.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on Death Stranding. So I've played Luigi's Mansion. I got it. Came out on Halloween. I've probably played 4 to 5 hours. Luigi's Mansion is a very, very delightful game. It's, Nintendo fun. It's got puzzles. It's got a couple new things from the old Luigi's Mansion games. If I had to complain about it, I would say that the controls are a little bit fussy. And I'm not sure if that's because my control stick is drifting a little bit. But Luigi likes to, shine his flashlight around in a circle rather than, aim where I want it to. So I haven't quite figured out the controls yet. But I did change them recently so that the tilt controls will raise and lower Luigi's flashlight and vacuum and stuff. So that's made it a little easier so far. So I have to reacquaint myself to that new control style. But yeah, I mean it's more open than Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. It's not mission based like Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. So you just go from one place to the other. It's got familiar lovable characters like Egad. So I'm very much liking it so far.
Nice.
Yeah.
I really want to play it, Dan.
It's good, clean fun. I'm actually pretty thrilled with the games that I have going right now between Fortnite and Luigi's Mansion and Outer Worlds. It's a nice balance of different
It's a good
things.
mix.
It is, and I'm very happy with everything.
There was a time, I think it was Dark Souls 2 or 3. I remember feeling that way because I was playing Dark Souls, but I was also playing super heavy Rocket League at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a nice
balance
combo. Yeah. It's a good feeling.
So there's a possibility we'll do an episode on Luigi's Mansion next week, but I'm not entirely sure. That may be a last minute decision, but I'll let people know.
Well, let's hash it out right here.
Let's hash it out right now, live. That's all I have. Will, Corey, you guys have anything you want to talk about for what you played?
No, but while you guys were chatting, I was checking out some of the games I might have missed, and Disco Elysium seems like a pretty cool game.
Yes, that's one I am absolutely going to get. That's on PC, right?
Yeah. I'll just read the Steam description. Disco Elysium is a groundbreaking open-world role-playing game. You're a detective with a unique skill system at your disposal and a whole city block to carve your path across. Interrogate unforgettable characters, crack murders, or take bribes. Become a hero or an absolute disaster of a human being. Overwhelmingly positive on Steam, and Metacritic has it, and OpenCritic, our favorite aggregate game review site, has it in their Hall of Fame for this year. So,
yeah.
Ooh, how much is it?
I've heard
Coming to Switch?
nothing but great things about it.
$40 on Steam. That's the only thing it's out for, as far as I can tell right now.
I think I heard it's coming to consoles later on, but there's no timetable on that.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Yep. Disco Elysium, yeah. Okay, anything else, Corey?
No.
Okay, I guess as far as feedback goes, the only feedback we got was from Tate. So Tate is the winner of the game giveaway. Taterade. So Will, you want to get the random number generator going?
Yeah, Dan, I can do that for you. I'm in the middle of a duty match.
Duty, bro.
Oh, are you hiding and placing claymores everywhere?
Yeah, actually, when you started talking about it, I was like, I really want to play Call of
It's the
Duty
only way to play it.
because I won't be able to play tonight because I got to work at 7 tomorrow.
I put claymores all over the place, even if I am running around. I just put them everywhere.
It can't hurt because somebody might trip over it.
Exactly, and that is my favorite when I'm running around and I get a kill randomly.
Just laugh to yourself because you know the
somebody's probably
person's so
thinking to
mad.
themselves, why the fuck did somebody put a claymore here? Because I can't get kills any other way, that's why.
You're going to have like the Claymore trophy in the game.
Yeah.
Number 1, Dan,
Yep.
is 65.
65. Tate is Thoth. Thoth.
That game's come up a lot.
It has come up a lot.
It's just trying to get given away.
Thoth.
Can't force it on anyone.
We need someone like Jake to just take it, because he takes those games that we are like, please take it. 12.
12 is Contagion. That one's come up a bunch too, but I have multiple copies of that as well. Contagion. Okay.
53.
53. Gone. Reroll.
Oh,
God.
Corey, aren't you in charge of the spreadsheet?
Not anymore. Handed off all my duties when I departed.
You delegated?
All your
My-
duties, bro.
My favorite is when we have a game that's gone when Corey's on and he makes a comment every time.
Every time.
That's why I asked. That's why I asked if he was in charge of the spreadsheet.
Will.
Sorry, 106.
That's okay.
I forgot.
106 Magical Battle Festa.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I guess it's
That
better than
sounds awesome.
better than blank.
But
Battle Festa.
barely.
Barely better than blank.
Is it better than Thoth?
Thoth.
This is the best. I'll tell you what. Nobody does a game giveaway better than this podcast.
That is very true.
I'd almost rather get some fucking weird game.
Yes.
I've been saying it. I think we need to embrace it. We need to call it game from our pile of junk.
I
That's a great
completely agree. Scrap heap games.
Yeah, games from the scrap heap.
Yep. Hashtag.
Mm-hmm.
142.
I don't even have to scroll for that one. Broken Sword Director's Cut.
That one sounds too popular.
At least we don't do that bullshit. Oh, subscribers only get to enter the game giveaway draw.
No.
Yeah.
That'd be a tough sell here, I feel like. With Thoth being tossed about.
Tossed.
Yeah.
Off.
Okay,
But no,
last roll, Will.
94.
94. 94 is Sam and Max Devil's Playhouse.
Do we know what Thoth even is?
No.
What's it?
It's on
I think it's
Steam.
pretty good.
THOTH.
No. Can't be.
So your choices are Thoth, Contagion, Magical Battle Festa, Broken Sword Director's Cut, and Sam and Max Devil's Play
Thoth is an ancient god.
House.
It's also a 9 out of 10 on Steam.
Indeed. It is.
Okay. So that might not be such a bad choice, Tate.
Abstract shoot 'em up.
Okay. It's coming back to me. It's coming back to me.
Looks weird.
Might be a little trippy adventure.
Yeah.
Enjoy Thoth, Tate.
Former lead gameplay designer of Play Dead games Limbo and Inside.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
Is
Look at
that what he got?
pedigree.
Did he get Thoth?
No.
He will.
Oh, he gets to pick. That's right.
Mhm.
I might choose Thoth from this group, to be honest with you. I've piqued my own interest. Actually,
Corey.
You could always
Actually,
take it.
just give it to me. Yeah, let's. No, I'm
Let's
kidding.
I think-
reroll.
Is that's part of your that's in your games thing, so
No, I'd
Double
rather
Fine
give it away.
published it.
I've already put it into the scrap heap, so
Yep.
I would have to win the drawing in order to get it out of there.
That's not a place you want to find your game.
No.
in the scrap heap. Okay. Anything else before we call it an episode?
Nah.
No.
No, sir.
Like I said, possibly Luigi's Mansion 3 for next week, unless we come up with something else.
Who's getting Fallen Order?
I might.
I might, Eric. I might be willing to split it.
Oh, yeah. Then we could do an episode on that.
If it reviews really well, I probably will.
Okay.
When do reviews come out, did they say?
And it comes out the same day as Pokemon on the 15th.
Yeah, it's the 15th,
Okay,
which is
so
the
probably next week.
day I'm leaving on for vacation. So even if it reviews well, I'll have a week to decide if I'm going to buy it or not. So yeah, but if that reviews well, I'll probably get it too.
Yeah.
Cool.
So all right, I guess that'll do it, right?
Mhm.
All right, that'll do it for episode 432 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. I'm your host, Dan.
Merrick.
Well.
Corey.
Thanks for listening, and get out of my basement.